For decades, something incredible was happening with each new generation. Humans were getting smarter, IQ scores were steadily climbing, and our cognitive abilities were expanding. But now, scientists are sounding an alarm. That upward trend may be stopping. In fact, some evidence suggests it might even be reversing. Recent studies from both the United States and Europe are revealing a shocking finding. When researchers compared cognitive test results, they found that Gen Z is scoring lower than millennials in certain key areas. Specifically, the scores for memory, reading comprehension, and the ability to maintain long-term focus are showing a noticeable drop. This isn't just a small blip on the radar. It's a pattern that has researchers paying very close attention, trying to understand what's behind this shift in our mental landscape. To understand why this is so significant, we need to talk about something called the Flynn effect. It's a concept that has fascinated psychologists for years. Put simply, the Flynn effect is the observation that, for most of the 20th century, average IQ scores consistently increase with each new generation. People were getting better at abstract thinking and problem solving. This steady rise was seen across many countries and was considered a hallmark of modern progress. But now, the latest data has led some researchers to a startling conclusion. They believe the Flynn effect may be slowing down, or in some places, it might have stopped altogether. Some even suggest we are seeing the beginning of a reverse Flynn effect. So, what specific skills are changing? It's important to be clear, this isn't about a drop in overall intelligence. Instead, it's about how our brains process information. The biggest declines are being seen in a few critical areas. First, long-term focus, which is our ability to concentrate on a single task for an extended period without getting distracted. Second is reading comprehension, not just reading words, but deeply understanding complex texts. And third is memory retention, particularly our capacity to store and recall information without relying on external aids. The core machinery of intelligence is still there, but the way we use it seems to be adapting to a very different world. This leads to the big question: why is this happening? While there's no single, simple answer, most experts point toward our daily habits and the environment we've created. The primary suspect is our constant interaction with screens. We live in an age of endless scrolling, notifications, and an infinite stream of short-form content like TikToks and Reels. This trains our brains to expect rapid, constant stimulation and to switch focus every few seconds. At the same time, many of us are engaging in less deep reading, the kind of reading that requires sustained concentration, like a novel or a detailed article. Our brains are incredibly adaptable, and it seems they are rewiring themselves to match the fast-paced, fragmented nature of our digital lives. This isn't just a topic for scientific journals, it's already having real-world consequences. And some countries are starting to react. In places like Sweden and the Netherlands, governments and schools are taking action. They've begun limiting or even banning smartphones and tablets in classrooms. The reasoning is straightforward. They want to create an environment where students can rebuild their ability to focus without constant digital distractions. The goal isn't to reject technology, but to rebalance our relationship with it and help young minds develop the essential skill of deep concentration. Now, before anyone panics, scientists are very clear about one thing. This research does not mean Gen Z is less intelligent or less capable than previous generations. Not at all. What it does mean is that our environment powerfully shapes how we think. A brain raised on books and quiet contemplation will develop different cognitive strengths than a brain raised on smartphones and instant information. Each environment fosters a different set of skills. The changes we're seeing aren't a sign of decline, but a sign of adaptation to a new reality. So, what does this all mean for our future? Human intelligence isn't disappearing. It's evolving. The fundamental way we think and process the world around us is changing, driven by the tools we use and the habits we form every single day. The future doesn't depend on which generation is smarter, but on the choices we make now about the cognitive skills we want to cultivate. The story of our minds is still being written, and the next chapter depends on what we do next. If you're fascinated by science that explains modern life, make sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.